sure it's not new, but it might be interesting. So we have 3 different types of offenses. And they depend on what happened with the ball. So did we score or did we not score? And it also depends on the flow of the game, the momentum and the rhythm of the game. Okay? So one, after misses. Okay? So our opponent has missed the shot. All right? We forced them into taking a bad shot, and we got the defensive rebound. We are now trying to run, fast break, maybe get numbers, 4 on 3, 3 on 2, 5 on 4, or whatever. We have the rim runner. We're flying up the court with our wings, I'll show you. And now we get into seams, where if we see a seam, we drive and kick or score, or as a secondary part, we go to drag. The drag is a high pick and roll situation, out of transition. So we're looking for seams that we can attack right away, and if we can't, we will then go to drag situations. Now we have 4 different drag situations, and I'm going to show you 3 of them. One is a regular drag, just a regular high pick and roll, I'll show you. Then B is a dribble drag, where the point guard and the strong side, the wing, basically exchange positions. And 3 is a late drag, which means the point guard, and again, I'm going to show you this in a second. So the point guard saw that people ahead of him were open, and he gives the ball ahead. He pitches the ball ahead, or he throws it ahead. You use any terminology you want. And then lastly, we have a double drag. A double. So it's 2 screens by 4 and 5 for the ball handler. But I'm not going to show you that, it will take too long. But I'll write it down anyways, so you can at least see it. So D would be a double drag. Now, if our opponent scored the ball, okay, what we don't want is everybody, thus a little bit of, why didn't you help me? Nobody. Because the big guy takes the ball out slow, the point guard gets open slow, everybody's like this, maybe what are we running, and we don't want that. What we want is, we always want the 5. I don't care where he is. The 5-man must rip the ball out of the net. This side or that side, doesn't matter. He's got to rip it out of the net and get it down as quickly as he can. And we're doing it mainly because, one, we don't want to give our players time to, negative thoughts. Nobody helped me, but I thought we were blitzing the pick and roll, and now, you know what I mean, right? You get scored on, you always have 2 guys who are yapping. You always have 2 guys who put their head down. No. You rip it out and you play. Short memory. Forget about what happened and focus on the next play, the next possession. And by taking the ball out of bounds quickly, we feel that we can eliminate that negative thought process. Am I making sense to you? Yeah? Okay. So basically, it is a numbered break. 5 always takes the ball out. 4 is always the rim runner. 2 and 3 are interchangeable. And then we always want the point guard to get us into offense. So he's the one receiving the out-of-bounds pass. And then we have a number of actions, and we call them, it's like early offense, flow. Because after makes, we don't want this, that, two, everybody, no, we don't want that. We want to get into our shit quickly and run it before the defense can start pressuring. Now, oh, they're running 2A, it's a pick and roll, and we don't want that. So we want to get into offense as quickly as possible. And, we have a bunch of different actions that we run. We would usually, out of 10 different flow actions, 10, we would usually pick 3 that we think will work the best against that opponent and use them in our next game. Okay. Now, I will show you 2 of those. Okay, so this one is called fist, and that one is called motion. For us, we can call it anything we want. So I'm going to show you these 2 flow actions, and I think they all provide good movement, and I think they're all good actions. Now, and I told this the young coaches too, and you guys know this, but I'll say it again. Why is the dinosaur extinct? The dinosaur. Because the dinosaur could not adjust to a changing environment. Okay? So we can't be dinosaurs. We can't be. The game is going in a certain direction at the international level. NBA, national teams, the EuroLeague, and we have to see that, analyze it, and adjust to that. And if we can, maybe be a step ahead. That's the goal ultimately, is to be a step ahead. I will give you an example. 15 years ago, everybody played 3 out, 2 in. I said this yesterday, okay? 2 big guys, the center, the 4-man was like a smaller 5. He could maybe shoot the mid-range, right? Like Carmelo in the NBA. You could shoot from here, but basically, he was an inside player. Then coaches started to figure out that we must open up this part of the floor, the paint. We got to open that up for drives and so on and so forth. And give the guards more space. So they then went 4 out, 1 in. The position that changed more than any other position was which position? The 4 position, right? The 4s are now like a combination of a 1 and a 3. But they're 2 meters 6 tall. And I think that we are very lucky to have that player in, for example, Hamoudi. Now, Hamoudi might have a hard time defending some fools, but in terms of his offensive ability, he is an ideal fool because he can really shoot the 3-point shot. He's a very intelligent passer, great passer, and he reads the game as well as any point guard does. Okay? So he's made for this kind of a system. Makram is the same way. So we have a lot of guys like that. Unfortunately, they're all a little older, but that's for another day. So then it went from 3 out, 2 in, to 4 out. Well, now we're going more towards a situation where it's almost 5 out. 5 out. Where the 5 can now shoot the 3-point shot, which if you spread them out like this, look how much floor space you created here. You drive and kick and so on and so forth. And so for a lot of teams, it's now a combination of 4 out, 1 in, with the 5 rolling, and 5 out with the 5 popping. Or just spread out from the beginning. So I think that's something that we have to keep in mind. And I said this when we had our Ready for Buenos here. Again, I think with our national team, we are very fortunate to have center in Salah, who is now able to shoot the three-point shot on a consistent basis. He can pick and pop, he can spot them up, do all these things. So I think offensively, we have a lot of the things that you need to play modern offensive basketball. So again, after makes, which means that our opponent has scored the ball, we would now go the flow action, and it ends up usually in a full-out run-in situation, high pick and roll, high side pick and roll, spread the floor, and have a hard roller or a 5-out situation. And I will show you. And then lastly, and I didn't write this on the board, obviously you must have set plays. Set plays that highlight the ability of your best players. Okay? So that in the fourth quarter, if you want to put the ball into Abada's hands, you must have plays that make sure that he's going to run a big and roll. Nobody else. Because when you run flow, this is more free flow, right? And everybody has his chances and opportunities. But late in the game, you want to make sure that certain players get shots from certain spots and that the ball is in the hands of certain players. And in order to be able to do that, you need set plays. You need set plays. And obviously you all know 1,000 plays that are probably better than mine. So we're not going to talk about set plays, because you all have your set plays and you know a ton of them. So I don't think it makes any sense to go over that. Okay. We're going to take a short break, 5 minutes or so, get something to drink, stretch out the old backs, and the kids are going to warm up a little bit, and then I'm going to walk you through a drag, and then I'm going to walk you through 2 or 3 flow situations, okay?